Greetings, this is Robin Myers, and this is my week 4 presentation on generations in the workplace for MPA 540 Public Personnel Management. So very quickly, what I'll be covering in this lecture is first identifying the generation that I am in and the characteristics that were mentioned in this week's lecture, and if I identify with those, agree or disagree. And then I'm also going to just pull in some information about a coworker and the generation difference between them, and if I agree with the characteristics were discussed in the lecture at that as well. And then tie it in and identify the type of supervisor or leadership that is necessary to kind of manage different generations and attach the theories or theorists that supports that answer as well. So let's get started. So I was actually surprised that I am Generation Y, a millennial, which establishes through 1980 to about 1994. The reason why I was kind of surprised that I was a millennial, because in my mind, millennials are the generation below us, I guess, the new age generation that's coming up, but fortunately that's me. I do agree with the characteristics that were identified in the lecture, though, that our generation is confident. We're very social, diverse, we're tenacious. The only part that I did disagree with is that we lack skills with dealing with difficult people. Because I personally, with me, I think that this is something that I handle very well, especially in my organization. As a social worker, I deal with different personalities on a day-to-day basis. Some that are very easy and some that aren't so. So it requires for me to exercise, saying that muscle on a day-to-day basis. And I think that I've done a pretty good job of dealing with difficult people, and they may not be difficult. It may be just identifying different personalities. When it comes to flexibility, yes, I need that, but I'm also a person that requires structure. I operate better within structure, and then I utilize the flexibility in my personal life, where it is what it is and it goes as it goes. And the workplace, I desire for it to be more both office and home. So with my organization, I have the ability to work in the office and also telecommute, which allows me just different settings to be able to get my work done for us. And I think that's why I became a social worker, because I'm not in the office 24 hours a day. And most importantly, I would say, yes, I agree with the motivator for the Generation Y is maintain a personal life. It is very important to maintain a personal life because that creates balance. That allows room for self-care so that I'm able to continue to be successful on my job. But another thing that is a motivator for me is job security and the ability to grow within my organization as well. So when it goes into identifying someone I know, I would have to say my direct supervisor. She would be considered Generation X, which is identified between the time periods of 1965 to about 1980. And I agree and slightly disagree with some of the characteristics that were communicated in our lecture this week. I would say she absolutely has a positive attitude. She's very goal-oriented, and she is an awesome multitasker. She is able to not only be a great supervisor to her team, but she's a part of a lot of work groups of different, I would say, programs that are going to be starting within the Department of Public Social Services. She's a part of those work groups and the molding and the shaping of those things. So she just awesome in the way that her mind works. And I'm often amazed at that. She doesn't look at it like it's just a job, though. She takes what she does very serious, although she's very casual in the way that she does. But achieving and doing a great job at her job is probably one of the things at the top of her list. And it probably has a lot to do with her personality trait. She is very hands-on. And another flaw would be is things typically, she seems to be open, presents as open, but sometimes it's more if she has a way decided in her mind, the way that it will function correctly, she will find a way to communicate it so that the team can be on board with what she's kind of wanting how things to go, even though she will acknowledge that your ideas and your functioning levels of views of how things should go is a great idea, but then she'll present it in such an elegant way of how her way is a little bit better. Motivators, I would have to say yes. Security, job security is very important, and salary is very important to her. She is very, let's say, driven by the dollar. And it's nothing that's against her. It's just a part of who she is. She enjoys her job. She takes her job very seriously, but she also is motivated by the dollar and the security of her position, seeing that she has been with the organization for about almost 15 years now. Now, let me place myself in the role as a supervisor for a multi-generational public sector agency. And I could use the Department of Public Social Services that I work within now as an example, where there are baby boomers that are at the higher administrative levels. And then you have the Generation X and the Generation Y who are at those supervisory levels and those floor employee levels. So one size fits all management strategy is absolutely going to fail in this type of environment, simply because each of those parties require different types of leadership. They can't have the Generation X. Generation Y, that formal structure, this is how it is, that's going to turn us off. Even though I'm a person that is able to operate within structure, I have to have that flexibility too. We do not like micromanaging. So I'm going to cross over to another course that we're taking right now when we're talking about leadership. And I'm going to go that the necessary strategies to take is a transformational leadership approach, simply because it's flexible. It challenges you to keep yourself in check on a daily basis while also collaborating and integrating the ideas and the functionalities of your employees to make them feel as if their words, their feelings, their thoughts, their ideas, that all of that matters in the whole functioning of the organization at all. With transformational leadership, it requires for you to make difficult decisions. And that would make me relate to Mary Parker Follett's approach to management, how she talks about authority and responsibility. Yes, within the supervisory role, you have the authority, but it also comes with the responsibility to ensure that you are able to pull out of your workers the necessities to ensure efficiency and effectiveness and increased output performance outcomes. So it all ties together and it's working together. Someone with a transformational leadership characteristics, they entertain new ideas, they're adaptable, they're proactive, and they lead with vision, always keeping the vision of the organization at mind, but also being open to new ideas and new ways of doing things, but also seeing, if we go back to more of our baby boomers, how they're just more structural and organizational in their commitment as well. It's just being able to balance with all of those in one. So I would say in order to be a successful supervisor or leader within a multi-generational organization, it takes that transformational leadership approach. So with all that being said, I continue to be enlightened by this week's studies and going forth, even working on our critical assignments as well, and how it's kind of urging me and pulling me and challenging me to make sure that I am implementing the necessary components and characteristics to ensure that I'm able to be an effective leader in a management role sometime coming soon. So enjoy the rest of your week and have a great day.